apparently the FBI tried to frame black people in a situation involving Derek Chauvin, the man who murdered George Floyd. And it was so flagrant and so blatant and so bold. Even the right-wing racists are like, hold on, bro. Y'all can't do it on black folks like that. Do you know the amount of flagrancy that has to happen? To where even the right-wing grifters are like, hold on, bro. We hate black folks now, but y'all can't do black folks like that. That's just unconscionable. So about 4 years ago, Derek Chauvin was sentenced to 22 years in prison for killing George Floyd. And I emphasize killing George Floyd because even though we watched it in real time and we watched it on camera, there are people who are still disputing that whether or not Derek Chauvin actually killed George Floyd.
Mr. Chauvin, as to count one, based on the verdict of the jury, finding you guilty of unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony under Minnesota Statute 609.19 subdivision 2 paren 1, it is the judgment of the court that you now stand convicted of that offense. Pursuant to Minnesota Statute section 609.04, counts 2 and 3 will remain unadjudicated as they are lesser offenses of count 1. As sentenced for count 1, the court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. That's 270. That is a 10-year addition to the presumptive sentence of 150 months. This is based on your abuse of a position of trust and authority, and also the particular cruelty shown to George Floyd. You are granted credit for 199 days already served. Pay the mandatory surcharge of $78 to be paid from prison wages. You're prohibited from possessing firearms, ammunition.
About 2 years into that sentence, he was attacked in the law library and stabbed 22 times by an inmate. Now, when we woke up to the news that Derek Chauvin was stabbed 22 times, the first thing I thought was, well, I can't even tell you the first thing I thought, man, because I'll get banned, okay? But I knew from the very beginning, man, ain't no black man did that, bro. Right, bro? Black folks don't, bro, black folks are scared of white folks, man. They don't lay a hand on no white man, bro, especially in no prison. It ain't happening, all right? George Zimmerman has been a free man for, I don't know, God know how many years now, bro. And not a finger has been laid on George Zimmerman. The only person who brought smoke his way was a white man, okay? So when I found out that he was stabbed, I said, nah, they ain't no working on black gangbanger. Gangbangers don't ride for black folks, they sellouts. I even got more confused when the identity of the man who stabbed Derek Chauvin 22 times was revealed. They said it was a former member of the Mexican mafia. I mean, John Tuscan. And the motive got released that he did it on behalf of black folks. Man, listen, bro. First off, man, I've been in LA way too long. Y'all can't run game on me, bro. Let me break down the nonsense these folks try to get off, okay? These folks try to tell us that John Tuscan told federal agents, okay, that he loved black folks so much that he attacked Derek Chauvin to stand in solidarity with Black Lives Matter and black folks. And he did it on Black Friday because he wanted to stand up for black folks. Listen, man, if John Tuscan was a white man, you could get this off, man. But ain't no member of the Mexican mafia doing anything for black folks, man. Y'all could have said their story, man. Y'all could have cut this one out, bro. Y'all could have kept this one in the drafts, bro. Y'all must have been talking to people in North Dakota or Iowa somewhere, bro. You think anybody who's hip is buying a story that a Mexican mafia member attacked Derek Chauvin because he cared about social justice reform for black folks? Man, cut it out, man.
The man convicted of murdering George Floyd. Now, last week, we had told you that he had been seriously injured after being stabbed in prison. And today, we are getting more information on that exact case. We hear that a federal inmate has been charged today with the attempted murder in the prison stabbing of Derek Chauvin. He is that former Minneapolis police officer convicted in the murder of George Floyd. John Tursak stabbed Chauvin 22 times in the law library at the Federal Correctional Institution in Tucson, Arizona, with what officials are saying was an improvised knife. And that's also according to federal prosecutors on this case. Tursak is a 22-year-old, and he told correctional officers that he would have killed Chauvin had they not responded so quickly. Again, that is more information from prosecutors. Tursak later also told the FBI agents that he'd been thinking about assaulting Chauvin for about a month because he is a high-profile inmate, but denied wanting to kill him. Tursak told the agents that he attacked Chauvin on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, as a symbolic connection to the Black Lives Matter movement and the, quote, Black Hand symbol associated with the Mexican Mafia gang. An attorney for Tursak was not listed in court records, and Tursak, who has represented himself in numerous court matters from prison, remained in custody on this Friday.
A Mexican Mafia member got the BLM tattoo on him and tried to murder Derek Chauvin because he loved black folks so much. Right. Right. Fam, anybody who is even moderately familiar with any Mexican gang bangers or Mexican mafia member will understand how hilarious, how ludicrous, how crazy that is, bro. That's a 0% probability. Cut it out, man. 0. And then we found out the FBI ran to that jailhouse to interview him, right? And to get the story straight. Now, my suspicion from the very beginning, to be honest, was, oh, okay. Clearly, this dude is an FBI agent. Clearly, he's an informant. Clearly, right, they're only doing this to lay the groundwork to label Black Lives Matter as a terrorist organization, in which we've already seen they've been doing as of lately. Trump has talked about it. Pete Hegseth has talked about it. Now, this happened during the Joe Biden administration, but unlike y'all, I don't think that these people like differ too much when it comes to ideology. Definitely not when it comes to the FBI. The FBI is supposed to be like a third party. Like, they're not supposed to be political at all. So yeah, I think it's been on the agenda for a while now, ever since the BLM era, right? Ever since the George Floyd rally, to label BLM as a terrorist organization. This, to me, right, them framing this as a hit on behalf of Black Lives Matter, to me was just a framework, and them trying to get ahead of labeling BLM, right, as a terrorist organization. And today, Fox News kind of confirmed that.
Shocking new details in the attempted murder of America's most high-profile inmate. Last Friday, Derek Chauvin was shivved 22 times in the library by another inmate. And now we know who the other inmate was. His name is John Tursak. He's 52, and he's already served 27 years of his 30-year sentence. And with 3 years left until freedom, apparently decided, I'm going to murder somebody. Tursak is also a member of the Mexican Mafia. And are you ready? An FBI informant. The complaint says Tursak at first denied wanting to kill Chauvin. And then the complaint says the Mexican Mafia guy waived his Miranda rights when the FBI agent showed up to interview him. First of all, why is the FBI conducting the interview? The FBI only shows up to prison murders as if someone's ordered a hit or if the perp or the victim was still informing, or all of the above. And why does a guy who knows the criminal justice system waive his Miranda rights? And wait until you hear what the FBI says he confessed to. It's just too perfect. The FBI claims that the Mexican Mafia guy wanted to murder Chauvin on Black Friday to symbolically avenge Black Lives Matter. So let me get this straight. The Mexican Mafia member who poisoned blacks his whole career with drugs and who was incarcerated during the Black Lives Matter movement is a social justice warrior. And anybody who knows anything about prison knows the Mexicans stay with the Mexicans, the blacks stay with the blacks, and the whites stay with the whites. Mexican inmates don't just start murdering white inmates to show solidarity with black inmates. Maybe. But here's what's mysterious. Tursak is listed as white, and the origin of his name is Croatian. Now, how many Croatians do you know in the Mexican Mafia? I didn't know the Mexican mafia was so diverse. So this woke Croatian Mexican mobster FBI informant has been suddenly moved to a new federal prison. For whose protection exactly? We're not sure. And Terskak's history with the FBI is fascinating. He flipped on the Mexican mob back in the late 90s and helped the FBI lock up more than 40 of his fellow gangsters. He admitted to carrying out a number of crimes while working as an undercover FBI informant, but was furious during his sentencing and told the judge the FBI made him do it. Quote, "I didn't commit those crimes for kicks. I did them because I had to if I wanted to stay alive. I told that to the FBI agents, and they just said, do what you have to do."
COINTELPRO. This entire thing reeks of COINTELPRO. An FBI informant who's no good, who knows the FBI has his life in his hands, because if the FBI ever get froggy and start influencing him getting moved to certain places, he's a dead man. A man who has said in the past he committed crimes because the FBI told him so. He has committed crimes on behalf of the FBI. That man woke up one day as a former Mexican mafia member who hate black people. He woke up one day, got a BLM tattoo tatted on him, and committed crimes on behalf of BLM. Cut it out. But BLM and this dude has no connection whatsoever. This is COINTELPRO. He's not working on behalf of black folks. He's working against black folks. They sent him to work against black folks. Trust me. Right? Yo, the NPSM-7 already got a head start. Yo, fam, the NPSM-7 has designated Antifa as a terrorist organization. But the definition of Antifa would damn near apply to any organization, that the current administration don't really like. Right? Because what's Antifa? Where do Antifa congregate? Who runs Antifa? Who's the leader of Antifa? What colors do they wear? And you can't tell me. But an NPSM-7 targets any political organization, or any organization for that matter that the administration don't like. Right now is Trump in office. So, they're probably going to target any social justice initiative. But let's just say Gavin Newsom or Jasmine Crockett, they take place. Now what? MAGA becomes a terrorist organization? This is sickening, man. This is sick. And the fact that they can pull this off right in front of our nose is crazy.
Liz Collins produced a very eye-opening documentary on the death of George Floyd called The Fall of Minneapolis. And Liz joins me now. Liz, this is getting stranger by the day. How do you think this went down?
Yeah, this certainly took another turn yet today. It was just yesterday that Derek Chauvin's family, in fact, heard that he'd been stabbed 22 times. He described it to them as in being sort of a media center where he was making copies at the time. And he told them, that he was attacked from behind. He tried to fight him off, but every time he did, he was stabbed again with some sort of makeshift knife that this guy had. So there are so many questions about where the guards were at this point, why this guy wasn't being watched. His family is obviously very fearful of all of this. We know that he's using a walker at this point, so they still don't know the extent of his injuries. They're monitoring that. But this all transpires, Jesse. I was on your show before, but this happened 8 days after our film was released that questions the FBI involvement in this case, bringing that out quite a bit in the film for the very first time. So there are still so many questions. You're right.
Yeah, like you said in your documentary, which is amazing that the FBI showed up to the lab. And it's interesting here, the FBI shows up to the prison after the stabbing, and then the Mexican mafia guy's story changes. And he's some social justice warrior trying to avenge black Americans. Black Lives Matter, Mexican mafia, Croatian. Does that add up?
No, there's so much that just doesn't. Derek Chauvin has been in this medium security facility for 15 months now with no issues. His family has been there several times to visit and is in touch with him quite often. We've talked to him as well, of course, for the film. So the timing of this is very suspicious. And also, let's not forget here that the only person to receive an update on Derek Chauvin's condition after this happened.
Oh, let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think, man? All right, do y'all believe that this man was a good faith actor who wanted to stick up for black folks, or do y'all believe, man, something very nefarious and wrong here is happening? Let me know in the comment section, man. What do you guys think, bro? Now, am I the biggest fan of Black Lives Matter? I'm not. All right, but Black Lives Matter has done enough things to, to where you don't really need to look for too many things or frame them. You could point out certain obvious things, such as, like taking that paper, all right, stealing that money, all right, spending money, millions of dollars on mansions and paying their brothers to run. You could point out you didn't need to pay a COINTELPRO to almost commit a murder on behalf of BLM. This is disgusting, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this? And if you're still watching and you enjoyed this video and want to watch another good video, then click on this video right here to find out why today has been a very bad day for DJ Academics. I'm going to see you guys in this video somewhere on my screen. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.